Good morning. I think what I'm going to do with that is tomorrow I'm going to line this mason jar with aluminum foil and then put baking soda. This is just water and baking soda, but I'm going to line this with aluminum foil, boil hot water, and put baking soda in it, and then put those pieces in it and let it eat off whatever buildup is on this so that I can see it, right? That also works for like tarnished jewelry or silverware or anything like that. So if you didn't know that, now you know, right? All right. I was at work for like almost 40 minutes after talking to my supervisor, who is extremely frustrated, but I was in her office last night, so I see her on Wednesday mornings. She said the same thing to me for the last 2 weeks. Is she's like dreading coming into work, and she's never felt that way, right? And she's been there for 6 years at that location. And, my response to her is usually, I think we all feel like that sometimes, right? Because we do. Because I have definitely felt that way, right? There. And it's generally because of one person, right? One bad apple can spoil the bunch. That is a fact, right? I'm sure everyone's met one, had one around them, where everything seems to be so peaceful, except for this one person who insists on causing trouble. Yeah. It's crazy. And it's generally the one who is most in the wrong, doing the most wrong, right? Or the one with the most problems, just creating these out of thin air problems for everybody else, right? It's insane what they do, how they act. And so then, right, my usual German boss is, very tough exterior, has a very much an attitude of eat or be eaten, right? And I don't, my thing is that a lion doesn't need to roar through the jungle for everything around it to know it's king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lion doesn't need to loudly make their presence known. Things just know, right? The vibration, right? So I don't feel like being loud and whatnot is a show of that you're in charge, right? For many, they believe that it is, right? But she believe a lot of her frustrations are she's being triggered by something, or this girl is triggering something in her. Yeah. And I only know this because the topics went to somewhere that she's never discussed, right? I already know like her living situation, and that's not ideal. Um, I'm not going to go too far into depth with that, but or maybe I should. So this is a Christian run, supposedly, right? It's a church that owns the property, has 15 like lots, right, for campers. And it's $500 a month for the camper spot to this church. But the person running it thinks that they have control and dictates over every little whatever, but they want to pick and choose, right? They want to pick and choose who is subjected to what rules and who can do what, who can't do what. It's very like hypocritical. It's very warden like, right? They call her the warden. Yeah, just absurd shit. It's like living under a dictatorship, right? You're not free to like speak or whatever. Not it's no fun living somewhere where someone makes you miserable. It's just not fun, right? So, anyways, that somehow pivoted towards the relationship with her mother, right? And I think that because the girl at work runs around acting like she's a big Christian, right? But stirs up all this shit, like the only one, and you know, is very unsavory with the men, yeah. Ugh. Like it's bad, the problems she causes, yeah. And that compiled with that, but then compiled with the fact that apparently she had a situation when she was younger, right? Like she was 19 and really needed her mom's help, and her mom told her to pray about it, right? And this is after her mom decided she wanted to be spiteful. And instead of sending her and her sister, because this is over in Germany, right? Instead of sending her and her sister to their dad, who very much wanted them, she decided to put them on a flight to Germany and give them to the state. Just out of spite. She said we would have had a much better life with our dad, and she just did it out of spite. Right? I feel like my community line gears more towards whoever's coming into my space, like as the morning goes, right? Because something I like work on or like monitor all night, right? Like, so definitely felt that way this morning. There's a little cat. There's cats there, right? And uh, they don't want anyone feeding them, right? They'll actually put out traps. Well, the one little kitty, I guess, is like pregnant or whatever. It's the only one that's like left, yeah. And last night, whenever I was getting all that stuff together to give to my other coworker, I set aside. I didn't know like little kitty was pregnant or whatever. I just thought about little kitties. Little kitties out there sometimes, right? Um, I was like, I'm gonna set aside a little food bowl and a little immune allergy thing, right? Because you know, and um, a little bit of every treat kind that I have, and bring it to little kitty. You know, I just think about like the way that we want to treat animals and stuff, right? Like we don't coexist with them, that they don't play a part in the bigger scheme of things, right? It's kind of fucking nuts, right? Like man is so hell bent on being non-synergetic with its environment. It's just fucking out of this world, yeah. Like imagine if something greater than you, right, was like, don't feed the humans, right? Don't feed the humans, right? How would you feel? How if all the ones who say don't feed the humans, all their fucking resources were destroyed and then you couldn't feed your own little humans, huh? How would you feel? I'm just saying, okay? Y'all get on my nerves. You do. You do. You get on my fucking nerves. So, anyways, right? We don't care what they have to say. right? Because that is a moral choice. That is a higher understanding principle choice. They say don't do it. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel crummy and grummy? If it makes you feel crummy and grummy, and if you have to go against what your heart and how you feel as a person, if you have to betray yourself to follow someone else's fucking orders, no, then you probably shouldn't be fucking involved with them. You shouldn't be working for them. You shouldn't be listening to them. You shouldn't be nothing, okay? If you're that dedicated to your godly ways, yes? Just saying. I get so sick of this shit, right? Anyways, right? All right, so switch from that, right? These are the conversations that I just had. My community line looks the way that it does. I have my science stuff like right off the bat. All is good, right? Tell me why. Tell me why. When I drive down this fucking road, right? I look and see this guy in a fucking driveway. If he don't look exactly like the person, I don't even know. I don't even fucking have a word for him. Not even yet, right? Obviously. Well, I don't have a fucking word for him. I'm so disgusted. Like I'm still so disgusted. Like I just don't have a word, right? This is something Tennessee. You know how sometimes you're so angry at someone like you have no words, right? Like you're just left fucking speechless. The only way left to convey your feelings is a fucking tornado, is a fucking flood, is a fucking fire. The only way to display your feelings and to show the depth of your emotion and your anger and your fucking frustration is pure fucking destruction. Like elemental fucking destruction, right? Has anyone ever had those fucking emotions, right? Like you're so angry that you could just pick the fucking world up and fucking break it, right? That's what you're dealing with here, right? With me. Like that's what I have to like balance, right? Facts, right? Because it's so deeply hurtful, right? It's beyond hurtful, right? It's beyond, right? It would be crazy for everyone to think that some fucking hillbillies are the reason that their fucking shit world is turned upside down. Wouldn't that just be the craziest fucking thing in the world? Right? The little lineup that I did about where y'all had me fucked up, yeah? Listen, those people are dead, okay? And that was everybody that had something to do with the first time, right? That's everybody that had something to do with the first time. Like fucking fleas, right? Right. Well, with one person who's in this other time, right? But understand, would I have chosen to participate in that fucking clown show? Uh, well, you know what I think? Like Like, I can feel upset and angry, right? And just fucking heartbroken, right? But it takes the right person doing the hard things, right? To step outside of themselves in a situation like that and say, I know that you're working from your ego right now, right? Because they were, because she was, yeah. Oh, trust me, I know that every single bit of it. Because that shit, like, there was no current. There were no current, up to date, whatever's there, yeah. None, right? But the kind of composure that it takes is I hurt their egos because the sister wanted to come at me and they've put on a persona for everyone, right? That's completely opposite of who they really are. And so whenever I put her own shit that she did for people to fucking see, right? That's when they came after me, right? Yeah. I'm not gonna get into the dirty details, right? But I will say that I know. Do you know? Do you know that I was sitting on more than enough money to fucking eat them alive? Oh, I was. I was, right? I was. I knew that. They didn't know that while they were running their mouths, right? I just let them run their mouth. I didn't say nothing, right? I didn't, did I? I'm just, right? I know that I had more than enough money to sink them. I did, right? But that's pointless, right? Because we're not fucking toddlers, or are we? Right? And then the fucking coward that actually has anything to do with anything. I haven't heard from him, seen him, no nothing, yeah. Not a fucking thing. Just hiding, right? It takes a mature person to say, oh, I could fucking eat you alive, spit you out, fucking put you in the greatest debt you've ever been in your fucking life, yeah? Because I know you're already in debt. You have to be in debt if you're taking care of all your fucking grown ass kids and then having to take care of their fuck ups, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that, right? Because I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't easy, right? I watched you go through. I watched her go through this with the her daughter, which is his sister, who's running her fucking mouth to me, right? Yeah, I watched her go through it, right? That's that fucking ego, yeah. And I'm going to school, right? I don't have time for these shenanigans, right? You can either be a fucking adult or not, right? I'm not gonna fucking uh I'm not gonna I know how the courts work, right? I'm not fucking no. That lawyer don't need another vacation. I need a fucking vacation, okay? And guess what? She had to sell her house. Why do you think she had to do that? Because of that shit, right? And I wasn't even involved in it. But had I been, Facts. Right. And I knew all of this, right? So I was like, nope, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play the game with them. Nope. Because I know how they operate, for one, right? And I'm just done. I'm done with that shit. I am not. There is a point to where you know that people are so in the fucking wrong, right? That it's laughable. That it's just fucking laughable, right? It's fucking laughable. Like the idea that you think it's fucking laughable. Mm-hmm. It is. Now, had I chosen to participate in that instead of just burning the fucking papers, well, I think there's a lot more names on those papers that would have been fucking down there at Ashley's, yeah. If we're being honest, if I'm being honest, yeah. You see what happened first time, right? And you know why that happens? Because they're not in the fucking right, right? Because I operate at such a high degree of correctness that, like, you get fucked up. You get fucked up if you involve yourself with me in an incorrect manner. Facts, right? Because how is it, right? Like, you got to ask yourself, how is it that, because what I'm telling you about this particular block of years is not the shit that was on those papers now, was it? Right? And it might be because the person who put all that shit on there, right, hadn't uh, wasn't allowed to have her nose in our business for fucking, X amount of years, right? And then there's like all this information, and then the fucker, right? The little fucker, the coward, yeah, like, don't even know what the fuck, has no fucking clue about my life, right? We've lived in the fucking same, this is fucking nuts. I cannot with you fucking people. I want him deleted. I want I want them all deleted. I do not ever want to meet him again. I do not want to ever meet that other one again. I never should have been in a position to meet any of those people. I never should have been in that house. Right? I shouldn't have been. So fix it. I can't talk about this. This is not the best way for me to talk about this.